Hey everybody, it's Michael here. I'm just a poor boy. Welcome again. This is video number 3. Now, for those of you that have been watching video number 1 and video number 2, those were my 2 custom pours for Mrs. B, my customer in England. Because of that, I had some paints left over. And Mr. B, her husband, I spoke to him first. But he kind of said, just to get you started, it's going to be a lot of orange, it's going to be a lot of blue. Well, I have tons of blue, but I don't have a lot of orange. I only had like a couple shades. So I bought tons of orange. And then it all started showing up in the mail. And then Mrs. B, I finally spoke to her and she was like, no, not orange. I want like red and deep red, dark red. I was like, oh. So I have all this orange paint. So I have some of the paints left over from the custom pour, and I have all this orange. So today I thought I am going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to use a bunch of orange in my base, and I'm going to use up the rest of those extra paints from the custom pour. Not all of them. Some of them I put into bottles, but I have enough to do a Dutch pour. Since I've been in my new place, I've been doing lots of custom stuff and not many Dutch pours. So I thought I'd go online and do what I did in the very beginning when I first started pouring, which was use the internet. There's lots of great people out there. And there is one woman who I just love. Her name is Rinske Douwne. She's like the queen of the Dutch pours. So I thought I'm going to go and watch some videos again just to refresh, because I've done lots of Dutch pours that are great, and I'm going, well, what's going wrong now? So I looked back, and I watched a couple of videos, and I went, oh, this is so helpful. Now, one of the interesting things is a lot of times Rinske only uses water with her acrylics. Now, a lot of people say that when you do that, then in the long run, your paints can crack and they can yellow easier. But I think that also has to do with the quality of your paint. And Rinske and I both use pretty high quality paint. But I didn't want to take that chance. So I used her advice, which is paint and then up to maximum 50% water to thin it out. Yeah. But to just make sure that the elasticity of my paints was better, I also added a little bit of liquid varnish gloss and Liquitex to my paints. So I just use this Creole varnish gloss. It's transparent. You can actually use this as well, people say, as a pouring medium. And of course, I just had a little bit of Liquitex left, so I thought I would use that as well. So let's talk about the colors. First, I have all this orange. So I decided for the base, I'm going to use from Amsterdam, right in the middle, this Naphthol red light. Now, the interesting thing is in all the oranges, none of the oranges I had was completely opaque. So I'm just going to make sure when I do this that all of the edges are covered. But the orange, I find all of the oranges were still fairly bright. But I decided I would darken it up just a little bit with this deep red mix. I had some left over. I'll talk about this in a minute. So my base is this. I made a big bottle of it. I've mixed it with water. I've checked the consistency. But today I'm going to put a little on the canvas before I fill the whole thing and check it to make sure this is good. So that's going to be the base. If you look at the colors, you can definitely see this is not as bright. I wanted the brightness to really come from the rest of the colors. This is it's still a very nice orange. So this deep red mix is a mixture of Amsterdam Carmine and Permanent Red Violet, also from Amsterdam. It's about, I'm going to say a 4-to-1. Then I just mentioned the Naphthol Red. I'm using that as well. And that's also from Amsterdam. I just call that's like a good old middle of the road red. When someone says, I want red, I think Naphthol Red. Now, I said I had all these oranges. This is actually the Azo Orange, AZO, Azo Orange. You can see it's not neon, but it's very like on the yellowish side. And I thought that would be nice in the contrast of the 2 darker reds I have to have this nice lighter orange. Next, this is a non-Amsterdam color. These are from Artist Acrylics. They make beautiful metallic colors. I had a metallic custom painting last year, and I used this yellow. Now, there wasn't much, so I squeezed the bottle, and I tilted it, and I put it in some water and liquid pouring medium and kind of sucked it up and mixed, and I got enough out that I was able to get a a couple of portions. I did thin this out for today because yesterday was too thick. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, you can already see in that light there. Look how that just shimmers. And it's not gold. It's metallic yellow. But speaking of gold, as always, one of my favorite metallic colors is the deep gold. Of course, I love copper. I like the light gold. I've used like the tin and the graphite and some of the silver as well. But boy, gold, especially the deep gold, just makes me happy. Now this is a color that's been successful in all of the last 3 paintings. It's now thinned down a little bit, but this was a custom mix of, also again from Artist Acrylics, a metallic white, and from Sennelier, this is the abstract innovative acrylic. It's just a lovely little package, but boy, you don't need a lot of this. It's so rich in pigment, and this is the iridescent pearl. I have a 30 by 90 canvas. As usual, I've checked to make sure my canvas is level. There's already pins in the bottom and it's been taped. I also, I did spray it to make it taut, but it seems a little bit dull. So before I get started, I'm going to spray that again. I'm going to get my paints arranged in the orders I want, and we'll be back in just 1 minute. All right, ready to go. So to avoid yesterday's mistake, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the consistency of this orange. Now the funny thing is, when I'm mixing it in the cup and pouring it off, it all seemed fine, but as soon as it hit the canvas, I could just tell it was not fluid enough. So I'm just going to put a little on right now and take a look. Now I'm going to just tilt this and see how it moves. Now it's not bad. Yeah, that's actually really good. I don't want it to be like way too runny, but it should be able to flow easily like that. Let's see if it just goes that way as well after just a second. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's getting thin now. I'm doubting though, should I add just, no, this is really, it seems really good. Let me just do one more here and see what happens. Because when you first pour it, then what happens when I tilt? Yeah, that goes straight away. It goes running into there. And now I'm going to set it down and watch what happens here. One of the big things is it going to level out? I can see that that's happening if I tilt, because I'm going to tilt afterwards as well. I want it to be flat. I've had some too thick, oh, that looks nice. Paints that's too thick, and then when it dries, you got like wavy lines on the canvas, and it's just awful. We do not want that. So we're going to take a chance. The other way we're going to be able to see is a lot of people use a spatula or their little spreader, but on a Dutch pour, it's also nice just to go ahead and use the hair dryer to spread your paint out. So I'm going to do that now, and if this is thin enough, when I hit the paint with the blast, it should really immediately start moving. Okay, now interesting thing is I poured it and I went, okay, great. And then as I started blowing, I went, oh, it's going pretty good. But still, I'm looking now and I'm going, my surface does not look like mirror smooth, yeah? Which a lot of times with a good mix, it does. So I'm just going to add the tiniest drop of water to this orange. I've still got plenty. And I'm going to mix it in the bottle. Now, this will cause some bubbles, but don't worry, I'll torch everything later. Let's see what happens here. So now I'm going to blow a little bit over here again, but I'm just going to take this and I'm going to just go. It's actually like way too much paint, but that's just me overcompensating to try and get this smooth surface. I hate looking at Dutch pours where you just go, oh, the base. I mean, sometimes it does look good depending on what the composition is, but most of the time I just go, nope, that was not ready to go. So, having said that, here we go. But that looks a lot better. Now, it's still not like a marble mirror finish, but I'm expecting it will level a bit. First, I'm just going to take my finger and put it in some of the paint along here. I'm just going to do my edges real quick. So now I've put this extra paint on there, and I'm just going to let it run all the way down. Yes, now there's still bubbles in it, and I can see here on this side that it didn't quite get off the corner, but boy, I'm going to torch this, but I hope now looking at here, yeah, it's a lot smoother. Oh, that's great. Okay, so I just finished tilting the canvas. I also torched it real quick to get rid of my bubbles, double checked my sides and edges for coverage. It looks great. Got my paints ready, and I put them in the order that I want to use, and I've checked them for the consistency. I'm going to start with my first track. I have to just figure out a nice little pattern real quick. Yeah, here we go. Great. So that's my red. We're going to now go in with my lighter orange. Kind of over it, but not completely covering it the whole time. Going a little bit fast, I can see, because it is fairly thin, but that's what I did wrong yesterday, so let's hope. Actually, this is nice because it's got a yellow bit of yellow in it, which makes it a little bit more contrasty. Yeah, here I went a little bit on the thin side, there, and then I started pouring thicker. You can tell that I've been pouring thicker paints because I'm moving pretty fast. I'm used to getting thicker color on the canvas. Now I'm going, oh, I'm moving so fast because it's thin. Oh, now let's see this beautiful yellow baby. Going a little bit zigzaggy on this one. Well, let's hope I don't want any more of that later. I'll just have to reorder that color because it's so beautiful. I love it. Okay, now I'm going for this iridescent white. Now, I'm not going to put a whole lot of this, but I am going to kind of pretty much go straight down the middle because I really want this to mix with the other colors so it makes new shades and adds an iridescent effect to already existing paints. That's great. Plenty. More than enough even. Great. Now we have this brighter red, which I think will add just a little bit of warmth to the canvas. I'm also going to do this one kind of thin, but playful. Great. Finally, this gold. Nice. That was very fun and playful. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick torch, guys. This is super exciting. I am going to just on the outside edge. Some artists swear by this blow over. They actually cover the paints first. You know what? I'm using Rinska's mix, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. I have done it before. It makes me nervous, but do get some beautiful effects. So Rinska, this one's for you. So I'm going to blow, but first I'm just going to gently blow some of this orange to cover everything before I really blow it out. Oh, God. Rinska, als het niet mooi is het jouw schuld. Okay, here I go. Okay, there's quite a bit of negative space still, but that's okay. I like how the white did mix in there, but the colors actually turned out a bit subtler, but there are some nice cells forming. I like a couple of these places. There's a little thin, but I'm still going to blow on my canvas to spread stuff out. But now with this negative space, I like it, but there's just still too much of it, so I'm going to spread out a little bit more. Here we go. There's a little bit of orange. Right there that needs a little bit of happiness. Needs happiness. See, it's when things like that that I go, I sound like Bob Ross. Okay, so this turned out lovely. I love the dancing. I love the negative space. I will bring you in for the final close-up. Wow, guys. So last night I tried to film it and you could see it was still very, very wet. And because of the lights, I was getting a terrible glare. And I've just come upstairs and it's still drying, but boy, it turned out fantastic. So many great cells as well. I mean, this section here, fantastic. I love this white outline through here. These cells are incredible, just fantastic. All this lovely gold and metallic pearl white. So many great details. I want to thank Rinska Dauna for her help. When I was a little bit desperate, I was like, what's going wrong with my Dutch pours? I went and watched her site and really helped me. Next time, when I think, oh, this is the right consistency, I'm going to add a little bit more water because it's probably too thick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please take a moment to subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like as well. I'd love it if you also hit the notification bell and leave a comment if you like. Thanks so much. I hope to see you next time. This is Michael for I'm Just a Poor Boy. Bye-bye now.